Hey, my champions. Welcome back again to this session. I'm Brian Scotton, and today I just want to give you a little message, and that is concerning the end of year message. And my end of year message is mostly to do with transiting to the next year, 2023. So 2022 has been amazing, and there's been a lot of things that has happened, in the year 2022. But as we transit and exit 2022 going to 2023, I just have a short message, for folks out there. And, maybe it could be helpful in a certain way to begin 2023. So without further ado, I just want to go straight to my message as we exit 2022 and go into 2023. My message is that you have to be prepared for the economic crisis, the recession that is going to happen in 2023. There's going to be a financial crisis. There's going to be a recession that the world has never seen before since 1926. So there are necessary preparation that you have to undergo before we come to such a tragic time. And one of the preparation should be your psychological preparation, as we enter in 2023 with the economic crisis that is going to happen. It's not a matter of if it's going to happen. It's going to happen. There's been evidences everywhere. There's been signs everywhere that we are going to enter into a period of heavy recession that's going to happen in the world. So I just want to begin to just unlock the background why the economic crisis or the recession is going to happen. You know very well that the last the past 2 years or 4 years, the world has been going through a lot of problems, and there are mainly two major problems that the world has faced in the last 3 or 2 years. And number one is the COVID-19 pandemic that the whole world went through, and it devastated a lot of countries. A lot of businesses have been shut down, closed, and countries spent a lot of money in various activities, like buying the COVID-19 vaccination medicines. And the governments couldn't raise tax because businesses were closed. And the other thing is that human resource, the human resource of most countries, were not available to boost the economy, and other many reasons that the COVID-19 brought upon the governments of the world. And this, as its impact is so severe, so that's COVID-19. And then the other one, from February this year, there was this conflict between Russia and Ukraine that, has also affected the world, in various places, because if major, the G20s, countries, the developed countries, especially Europe, they are engaged in that war. How are they engaged in that war? I just don't want to say, I just don't want to talk about who is right, who is wrong. That's not my business. But my business right now is the war is happening, and it's affecting many parts of the world in terms of the economy. And then how is it affecting in terms of the economy? Number one, because these countries that are involved, in the war in Ukraine, like Europe, what they're happening is that, they've raised their taxes, and when they raise taxes on businesses, because those taxes are raised so that, they can solicit some money to fund the war, like humanitarian aid that is going to Ukraine. And by raising those tax on businesses, which means the prices of commodities also goes up, especially in Europe. And you know very well that if that one happens, and then the donation towards developing countries also drops, because people cannot afford now to donate their money to charities and other international aid fund that goes to the developing world, also reduces. So by this, it affects the developing countries all over the world. I'm talking about, especially in Africa and in other parts of the world, like, Latin America and some countries in Asia. So this affects so much. And number two, we know that by the Western countries imposing sanctions on other G20 countries, especially Europe, imposing sanctions on Russia. And we know very well that it's Russia that is one of the leading exporters of fuel, and gas, to Europe and other parts of the world. So they have not only sanctioned fuel, but there are little details, many details that, Europe has sanctioned upon Russia. And this is, is an ecosystem, is an economical ecosystem that, affects all over the world. Take, for example, right now, the price of fuel is up. The price of fuel is up all over the world, because Russia used to produce a lot of oil that circulates around the world. And now, if it is sanctioned, which means some other countries who are in the Middle East, take for example Saudi Arabia, they monopolize on these fuel prices, because they're the only one producing now fuel, and they can dictate the price. So that's why fuel is going up. So when fuel goes up, everything goes up. Especially in business. Now transporting the goods from the other part of the world to the other part becomes so expensive because of the fuel price, and food going around the world and other many commodities becomes very high. Because of the high price in fuel. So this one makes the economy goes up, makes the price of the economy goes up in various aspects. And these ones lowers productivity. It lowers productivity of commodities in around the world. So the economy, falls. So basically, I will not go to much details about how virus conditions are affecting the economy of the world. I've just given you two, but just what I want to say is that because of those factors, the world is going through bad times, and as I told you, the COVID-19. So these are the factors that are raising up the economic crisis all over the world. Okay, so the aftermath, the impact, of these things are going to be severe upon the world. And I just want to prepare you for the worst, that maybe it's not only going to be the economic crisis only, but the world is blinking into the horizon of Third World War. So I have to prepare your mind for the worst that could come, in the future, especially in 2023. Prepare for a bigger thing. So there are many ways that, right now you can survive. You can survive the economic crisis. You can survive whatever the world is bringing or whatever is going to happen in the world. You can really, really survive. So I'm just trying to highlight to you how we can survive these days. I'm talking about myself. I talk about yourself. How we can survive in the next recession or the economic crisis that is coming upon the world. So there are just few things that you have to do. Number one, my advice, to all of us is that right now, those who are keeping their money, you have some little money in the bank right now. It's not a good idea to keep your money right now in the bank. It's not a good idea to keep your money in the bank, okay? Because when there's a recession, there comes inflation, and if the inflation comes, then the value of your money falls down. The value of your money will certainly go down. So if you keep your money in the bank right now, it is not a good idea because of the recession and inflation, the value of your money will fall, and then you'll do nothing with the money. I'm talking to low income class. I'm talking to middle income class. So me as a low income class, there's a way how we can survive this bad time that is coming. As far as economic crisis is going to come, there's a way we can survive. So please take out your money in the bank. Take out your money in the bank. So if you take out your money in the bank, what are you going to do with your money? What are you going to do with your money? There are many things that you're going to do with your money. But before I go there, I just want to give you just a very little example about, the devaluation of your money. The devaluation of your money. Now, take for example, 2 years ago, how much did you used to buy a loaf of bread? One loaf of bread, how much did you used to buy? Okay, take for example, if one loaf of bread cost $1, $1, then right now, because of the the shoot up of price, all prices have gone up, as I explained before about the war and the coronavirus and so on. So take for example, if you are keeping $10 in the bank, $10 in the bank 2 years ago, and a loaf of bread cost $1. How many bread would you buy with your $10 which you have kept in the bank? You would have bought 10 loaves of bread, right? 10 loaves of bread. Your money has value because it buys 10 loaves of bread. Right now, if one loaf of bread costs $3, so the same money of $10 that is in the bank, how many loaves of bread can it buy right now as I'm talking? Which means that your $10 is going to buy 3 loaves of bread, right? 3 loaves of bread, okay? In the past 2 years, it buys 10 loaves of bread because it's sold at $1. Now a bread sells at $3, which means your $10 is going to buy only 3 loaves of bread, right? Which means, same money, $10 years back, how much purchasing power does it have? How much purchasing power does it have? Before it buys 10 loaves, but now only 3, which means your money has been devalued, due to these circumstances. So this is a good example I've just given you. Put that scenario in the next 2 years that is coming, or the next 3 years. I don't know how long the recession is going to stay, but remember that your money, as time goes on, is going to be devalued more and more and more. So the question goes, what can we do? What can we do? It's a bad idea to keep your money in the bank. What you have to do, withdraw your money from the bank and do other things that, are stable. For those who live, in the developing world, there are many things. So I'm talking about myself also, and other guys, folks out there. So you have to need to convert now your money. You have to do what is called speculation, money speculation. Money speculation only means that you convert your currency into assets. You need to begin to buy assets right now, right? You need to begin to buy assets. For those who are planning to build a house, and you've not yet built a house, this is the right time, because it's the time now that the cement, the price of cement is still low. The building materials prices are still low. So you have to convert, every the money that you have into assets. Begin to buy assets, and you have to invest wisely in those assets. Those assets are basically things that would gain value as years goes back. And one of them is land, and one of them you can buy a house, and then your money will be secure, because these are assets that their values don't go down. And for countries, if I talk for countries, this is the time for stocking gold. You have to stock gold in your economy. The National Treasury has to stock gold right now, to survive, these because these are commodities whose prices are, stable. And I'm talking, for those who are in the developing world, you can right now convert your currencies, wherever you want to live, convert your currencies into dollars, because yes, the dollars will fall, but it won't fall like, other currencies around the world. It's a little bit stable. So that is another option, on what you can do. Yes. So, get your money out of the bank and speculate it, buy some assets, that will, whose prices are stable. And then number two, how we can survive it is that, you need to turn, if you have liabilities, you need to turn all liabilities, into asset as much as you can. Make your liabilities to come to asset, turn it to asset as much as you can, when it's still earlier. So maybe some of the, I will be talking, about differentiating about liability and assets. Some of us don't know the terms. We might have heard, but we really don't know what liability means and what asset means. I know you've studied before, but in the next future, I will be talking about, liabilities. I'll be talking about, assets and all that kind of thing. So those are the things that you can do right now to survive in the recession that is coming. Number three, reduce your expenses. Okay, reduce your expenses is the time, that, you cut your expenses. Those things that are not necessary for you to be buying or to be using or something like that, you have to cut, your spending. Cut your spending in the company, cut your spending at home, cut your spending wherever places, you're doing. There are many costs, for those who normally yearly you have to go for a holiday, in other countries, tourism or something. It's the time now, you minimize those cuts. At home, there are many things. Take, for example, myself right now, I've cut my spending in this way. Right now, I'm converting all my liabilities into assets. Okay, I'll be telling you in the future what is asset, what's a liability. But right now, for me, the practical example that I'm doing, I am, turning all my liabilities into assets. And number two, I've cut my spending. I do a lot of movements, with my kind of, activity. I do a lot of movements. in to and fro. You know, in the city, I go to the countryside and more there. But this have cut my spending. Most of the time now, I use motorbike. I use motorbike unless I really need, you know, or I'm moving with my team, you know, to go to do what we were supposed to do. Yeah, that's when I'll take my car. But for you know, petty things that, you know, I can do myself, there's no need for me to because the price of fuel is up right now. The price of fuel is just up. So take, for example, if I'm going 500 kilometers away, how much am I going to put my fuel? My fuel will be about $150 to and fro. Okay. Whereas if I go with my motorbike, you know, how much am I going to spend? I'm going to spend only $20. Right? So from $150 to only $20. That $20 will take me 500 kilometers by bike to and fro. Whereas if I use my car, I'm going to spend 150. But why? Why am I spending 150 just as a single person going 500 kilometers and coming back? You know, maybe I'm just going to sign a contract or something. Why can't I use a motorbike? So these are examples of you know, spendings, you know, you can reduce right now as we approach 2023, as we approach the recession, you know, that is coming upon the world. So guys, these are, you know, just simple ways, you know, how we're going to survive in the recession. It's not about when or if. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. There's going to be a massive economic crisis. There's going to be a big recession. So guys, I've prepared you for 2023. You know, but to other folks out there, I just want to say that, you know, the Bible says that Jesus said, do not let your heart be troubled. In the world, you'll face many problems, you know, but I have overcome the world. This is a good message. This is a big message for us, you know, that, you know, we shouldn't lose heart, you know. We will survive. We'll survive all whatever is coming. Thank you guys. You are my rock stars. You are my champions. You know, thanks so much that you guys support me, you know, in whatever I do. I really love you. I'm not talking, you know, just to please you, but really comes from my heart that you are really good, you know, you are a blessing to my life. So thank you guys for today. I'll be coming with my second message for the new year. So just stick with me, and thank you very much. I'm Brian Scotton. Bye. Ciao.